So how do we, as mental health professionals and all other providers who work with children and care about them and want to protect them from abuse, actually have the court hog-tie the abuser with a rope of justice? So that's really my goal, is in this education of all the different tactics that the narcissists use, the creepiness, the process of alienation, what that looks like against the mother, what the signs and symptoms that show up in the kids. So I'm continuing with chapter 10, and there were actually no sanctions as much and as often as Christina would report, call crying, that Zach was not brought to visitation, that a child would respond to her in a way that was so uncharacteristic of how she or he usually, responded to her mother, through this process of twisting their minds into a pretzel. The goal was turning their love for her to hate through this aversive conditioning. And an example of that was after leaving the woman who was in charge of reunification, and this was many years into this child custody massacre. The daughter said they were leaving in separate cars. Obviously, the daughter was with the narcissist father, and Christina, the mother, was in a separate car, and they ended up at the same stoplight as they were leaving. And Christina looked over, and Jade, the daughter, who was probably about 13 or so at that time, flipped the bird at her mother, which she would never have done that in the past. And the father, the narcissist, looked over Christina and just smirked. And so these narcissists sanction this incredibly disrespectful, disdainful behavior of the children against the mother as part of their agenda. And so the more we learn how and we recognize an assessment of these cases of child abuse and present it to the court, the system is rigged, but they're not all bad people in there. There are good, moral, righteous judges, family lawyers who want to protect children. But our job is to assess properly. And another example of the children being brainwashed and programmed by the narcissist father is how they mimic the father's behavior towards the mother. So in phone calls, sometimes the father would pick up and hang up, and other times the child would pick up, the youngest one. "Don't call us, Mom." And that was totally uncharacteristic. So pay attention, you guys. We just love children.